Yo, what's up, internet? My name is Anthony, and I was watching First Take today, and they were asking who has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl next year, the Raiders or the Seahawks? Now it's time for my take. Let's start with the most important position on the football field, the quarterback. Both quarterbacks are young, franchise quarterbacks that will be around for a really long time. In terms of regular season stats, both are close in completion percentage, but Carr has a much better touchdown to interception ratio. However, as much as I like Carr since he's the quarterback of my team, Wilson is the better quarterback at this point. Wilson is a Super Bowl champion and has plenty of postseason experience. Carr has led the team to the postseason, but sadly got hurt before he can show what he can accomplish. Next up, we have offensive line. There is no competition here. Tom Cable has done miracles to make that offensive line work. They did improve a little bit as the season wore on, but overall they were a bad offensive line and struggled to create holes in the run game and protect Russell Wilson. The Raiders have a dominant offensive line and created enormous holes in the run game. In pass protection, Carr was the least sacked quarterback in the league last year. Now we're on to offensive skill positions. Amari Cooper is a legit number one receiver in the league with what might be the best number two receiver in the NFL in Michael Crabtree. This dynamic duo, along with the new addition of Jared Cook, allows for the Raiders to have one of the more potent offenses in the league. The Seahawks have an excellent but underutilized tight end in Jimmy Graham, to go with an underrated Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett. Baldwin seems to always catch whatever gets thrown his way, and Jimmy Graham is a beast who should be force-fed the ball. When all is said and done, I give the advantage to the Raiders. Outside of Baldwin, the Seahawks have no receivers that you have to fear, and Graham doesn't get used properly in the passing game. The Raiders' receivers are used correctly, and both are legit number one receivers in many offenses around the NFL. The addition of Cooks will provide Carr with another weapon. Now we're on to the defensive front seven. The Raiders have nobody on the defensive line aside from All-Pro Khalil Mack, who can do anything. Mario Edwards Jr., Jahad Ward, Justin Ellis, Dan Williams were all pushed around last year in the run game and provided no pressure as a pass rusher. The Seahawks defensive line features stars that should be Pro Bowlers in Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill. They manhandle their opponents and provide pressure and stop the run. The linebackers Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright are studs, and the Raiders don't even know who their starting linebackers are outside of Bruce Irvin. Next up, we have the defensive secondary. While there was some argument for the Seahawks skill position versus the Raiders skill position on offense, there are no arguments on the defensive side. The Legion of Boom of Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor kills the Raiders secondary. Carl Joseph has the potential to be a Pro Bowler, and Reggie Nelson might have earned the Pro Bowl last year, but they were just terrible overall. The corners of Sean Smith and David Amerson looked good on paper, but they were getting burned early and often. No competition here with the Seahawks being one of the best, and the Raiders being one of the worst in the NFL. In conclusion, the Seahawks have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl in 2017. The Raiders had the advantage on offense, while the Seahawks had the advantage on defense. In the playoffs, rarely do you see shootouts, and there's an old saying of defense wins championships for a reason. Wilson has been there and done that in the playoffs, while Carr missed the playoffs due to bad luck. Going into 2017, the Raiders are an up-and-coming team and might have the advantage at the end of the season. But as of right now, the Seahawks are the better football team with championship experience. Alright guys, that was my conclusion of the Raiders versus Seahawks Super Bowl chances. I tried to be very unbiased, and it did hurt me to choose the Seahawks over my Raiders. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.